Hello and welcome back to the podcast. This is your Crystal Palace versus Manchester United match reaction. And I tell you what. First of all, I want an apology to everyone who said I would jinx the result. And I want an apology to everyone who thought I was overconfident. I also want a formal apology, and it must have the same energy as all the barking. You know, I want an apology from everyone who said I didn't respect Crystal Palace. Hey. These guys have lost every game in the last 5, and I think they drew 1. But now they've lost 5 out of 6 games. In football, you don't get rewarded for playing well. You get rewarded for being clinical and taking your chances.
That's true.
That's a lesson in football, guys. Can I also teach you guys another lesson before I tell you to like and subscribe? Can I also teach you another lesson? Crystal Palace don't have Marcus Rashford. Crystal Palace don't have Martial. Crystal Palace don't have Paul Pogba. Crystal Palace don't have Bruno Fernandes. Crystal Palace don't have Nemanja Matic. Crystal Palace don't have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Crystal Palace don't have Harry Maguire. Crystal Palace don't have Lindelof. Crystal Palace don't have one of the best goalkeepers in the world. That's why I'm confident in this team. Because when our starting 11 is playing, man for man, there is no excuses for us to lose to teams like Crystal Palace. I ain't hearing all the nonsense about how good they are on their day. Fam, I get it. You know, nothing is certain in football. You know, the Premier League champions are out here losing to Arsenal. I get it. I'm not that hard-headed. But it doesn't mean I can't be confident. So I want an apology from every United fan. And as for the Chelsea fans who listen to this show, we're coming for you. I won't make any noise about it, but we're coming for you. Welcome to the show. Please leave a like if you're buzzing and if you wanna stick around and you are new, please do consider subscribing. Without any further ado, let's get into the show. As usual, I will ask you what your initial thoughts on the game was, you know, and your initial reactions to the result and how important this result is.
We started off very, very shaky, and I thought we were actually very poor in the first 10 minutes. But United, they grew into the game. You know, obviously, Palace did play very well, and we didn't play at our ultimate best that we know this team can play. But at the end of the day, we got the result, and that's all that matters to me.
Like, it was a good game. It was an entertaining match. If you love tactics, it was a brilliant display of tactics. More so from the team that lost, but I think the tactics were spot on. Crystal Palace shape
is ridiculous, Cam.
Dude, the shape is amazing. At first, I thought they were just sitting back and maybe pressing with a few attacking players. But as it went on, I realized
they were playing on 6 depth, Baba. They were playing on 6 depth. Southampton were playing on 9 depth.
As it went on, I realized it was way more complex than that. They were playing what you can call a positional press, which is what Liverpool do a lot. It's like, to explain it in a simple way, it's like pressing in positions. So it's much higher, but it's safer because there's not a lot of spaces. And we found it so difficult to play through because the balls were just not getting to attacking players.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't play FIFA, that's what 6 depth would be, because 10 depth is high press, 6 depth is medium press, and then 1 depth is drop back, which is sitting back.
See, I didn't know. I don't play FIFA that much.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So, and then a very good outlet in Zaha, but it wasn't enough really, because
Zaha was playing on the wrong side.
Yeah, he was the only threatening player really, and we're also not mugs. So defensively, we were very good and we contained them. And I think, to be honest, I think the best way to play against this playing style is by slowing things down and holding the ball and making them chase. And we just don't play that way. And I feel like we saw that against. Yeah,
I think we tried to do that, but it was just very unnatural because all we could do was pass amongst our back four. Like, I think there was a period in the game where we tried to actually genuinely hold the ball, especially after the water break. And I'm not saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, guys, stop what you're doing, let's hold the ball. But I just think the team knew that Palace was getting a little bit too confident, and they tried to hold the ball because there was a period where Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay were just passing it between each other. And I was like, a lot of people after the match, in the match reaction, are going to say McTominay was struggling and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, McTominay wasn't struggling. McTominay is playing in the role that Matic is playing in, and he doesn't want to fuck up. He was clearly instructed to stay out of trouble. You don't hold that ball. You give that ball to Maguire or you Lindelof, or you kick it up the field. Worst case scenario, but you do not hold that ball. And I want you to stay in the middle of that back four. And that's what he did, because that's what Matic does. And I think, just not to go on too much of a rant, but if McTominay is going to become a good DM, and I told Shoni this during the game, He did a good job today, but he needs to learn how to play balls over the top, because when Matic came on, you could already see the difference. He needs to learn how to distribute the ball.
Huge difference.
But McTominay is not a DM. He's a box to box, and you could clearly see he was out of character today. But I love it because it shows how disciplined he was. He was quiet. He did what he had to do, and he kept the shape, which I love. Yeah, I think a lot of people will think that's a bad game, but I disagree. I think McTominay played well. He was quiet, but he did what he had to do. You know,
hey, we'll talk when the ratings come, but I think as much as we did try hold here and there, I feel like there's a lot of times we were trying too hard to get out and get through it, and it became very difficult because of how Palace were playing. And I feel like in a weird way, the goal came at the right time for both teams. For us, being it's very late in the games, it's always good to score that time. For Palace, I feel like if they conceded earlier, they would have had an emotional response and would have probably broken down defensively. But that didn't really happen. Half time, and Roy Hodgins just said, "You're playing well. Just keep what you're doing, and the goal will come." Which it kind of did.
It did.
They were very unlucky.
I think the game opened up a lot more after the goal as well, because Palace were like, well, we can't just sit back now. We have to go for it. And Manchester United were also like, okay, cool. We're also going to go for it. We're not just going to hold the ball, which is what I love about this new United team.
Yeah. I don't think they have the quality to do what they were doing for 90 minutes. And I think it was very evident after we scored our second goal, and they really just parked the bus after that. And we held the ball throughout to the end of the game. So it was an entertaining watch.
Damage control. Yeah. Now, look, all you man who are worried about Manchester United dropping points here, like, we're unbeaten in 19 games. Relax. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be scared. I'm not saying you shouldn't be nervous. It's your prerogative as a fan. But personally, I just think when you look at the way Manchester United's playing at the moment, the courage, the charisma, the passion, the wanting to be on the front foot, the fact that today you could say Crystal Palace played well, but I think it was partially because we were just reckless in transition. There's a lot of times where Bruno made a bad pass and he didn't need to lose the ball, but I was like, it's okay. You'll get another chance, and you better play that ball through. Don't become scared now. Don't just hold the ball now. Keep doing what you're doing. Eventually that ball will get through to Rashford or Martial or Greenwood, and one of them will make something happen on the other end. And I think eventually it paid off. I love it because as much as I want Manchester United to control games, you're not going to control every game in the Premier League. That's just not how the Premier League works. No matter how hard you try, no matter how intense you play, unless you're Pep Guardiola with a 500 million euro budget, you're not going to control every single game. And there are going to be games where your passes just aren't going through, but you've got to keep knocking on the door. And what I love about Manchester United today is we weren't scared to lose the ball. I know this sounds ironic because usually we criticize this team for not being able to hold the ball. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm glad we had the courage to keep attacking, even when things weren't going our way, because it eventually paid off. The Manchester United I know at the 60th minute would have been like, okay, guys, this is not working. How about we just shut up short there and then just try hit them on the break, you know? And I didn't want that because then we're just going to soak up pressure. Palace were going to score, and then they were going to park the bus. And then now it's up to us. And Bruno's tired already, you know? So I think I really did enjoy tonight's game. And no disrespect to Palace, but there's a reason why you're not in the top 10. No disrespect, bro, but there's a reason why you're not in the top 10.
The quality between the two teams was very evident to see.
And when Matic came on, I mean, like, I just had a huge sigh of relief. That's when I just let go. I was like, there's no ways we drop this game unless it's from a dumb corner or a dumb Pogba mistake, because these guys aren't going to suddenly turn it up this late in the game. They just don't have the quality, and they're clearly tired. Like, it's United's game to lose, and I'm glad De Gea was on point today. So, beautiful stuff, man. Shall we get into the player ratings? De Gea out of 10.
Woof. Gonna give De Gea a
man
9.
of the match for me, not gonna lie.
Okay.
Straight up.
He wasn't my man of the match, but he did perform extremely well. And yeah, he did everything right today. And today it looked like a very confident De Gea. So yeah, it's just about whether or not he can keep on doing this, keep on getting his head up this high. But today, no complaints, 9 out of 10 for De Gea.
Yeah, I feel like it's simple. If the defense plays well, De Gea has a good game, really. So I think he did have a good game, good saves. I'm going to give him an 8.
GG, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, dodgy game from him, but anyways, Aaron Wan-Bissaka out of 10. Lindelof bailed him out of jail a few times. I'm going
to give Wan-Bissaka 7. I think first half he was shaky defensively, but going forward he was good. And then second half, I think he was like, you know what, I'm not going to go forward anymore. I'm going to sit back. And then when he actually defended and Lingard was there, he shaped up, and that was
Yeah,
good to see.
Listen, I think Lingard bailed him out of jail. I'm not gonna lie. I think he was suspect today. Like, if it wasn't for VAR's ridiculous rules where your pubic hair's offside, so your whole body's offside, like that goal was Wan-Bissaka's fault. He got nutmegged, and it's just like that's not the first cross he let in, so it wasn't just a goal. Like Wan-Bissaka for me was poor today, but I respect the 7.
So 7.
I respect it. I respect it. I respect it.
Like, look, the rules are the rules, and that goal was offside. So, unlucky.
The guy's pubic hair was offside.
I would be fuming if I was a Palace fan. I would be fuming.
But he's offside though.
I know it's. For me, that is an offside.
His toes offside. Look, I think first half, to be honest, I thought it was poor in general. Going forward, it was average. Defensively, I thought it was poor. And then second half, as you say, he didn't go forward that much and he improved defensively. So not his greatest game, but not horrible. So I'm going to give him 6.5.
All right, Lindelof out of 10.
8 out of 10. Very solid. Positioning was good today. He made great tackles. He helped Wan-Bissaka a lot today. And he didn't put a foot wrong. He was actually winning headers a lot, which I always criticize Lindelof for not doing enough. So solid performance. 8 out of 10.
He's a big tech Harry Maguire. He's a Swedish Harry Maguire.
He is. I think he's back on those runs again where he finds the spark of consistency. So, I think he deserves a 7. No.
Lindelof is the only player where you try genuinely praise him and it sounds bad. Like, it just it doesn't. Because he's just an honest hard worker. He's a quality defender, but a lot of it comes down to hard work. Yeah. But anyways, Captain England, the man who supposedly has an hip injury and he's getting injections before the game. Captain fucking
a quadruple goals. Should have had 4 goals. He should have had.
That first header was suspect, The one where he just bounced off his head. I think he didn't set himself up properly and he wasn't expecting it to come down.
I think
the commentator said that. The commentator said that he was watching the defender more than he was watching the ball. Yeah,
because he didn't set himself up properly, and the thing is, the ball came at an awkward angle. Because when you're running into the box, right, you're expecting the ball to come at a height 9 times out of 10, at least from what I've watched from Maguire. He expects the ball to come up at a level where he has to jump, and then he jumped, but then the ball was much lower, so he just stayed on the ground, and then the defender missed it. He was like, "Oh shit, it's coming from my forward."
Yeah,
he didn't react in time, and I don't blame him for that because it's like that cross came at an awkward angle. He should have scored, but I don't blame him.
Yeah,
because
you should have got at least one to get up that for. At least.
Yeah, I think the third or fourth one was the one he should have scored, to be honest, because he actually went up really well and he contacted it really well and he actually went towards goal. It was just a little bit wide. I don't know if it was the third or fourth one or not, but one of those two.
Yeah, but I think defensively he wasn't as good as Lindelof, so I'm gonna give Maguire a 7, just 1 below.
I actually liked what he did there when he fouled someone in transition and he got a yellow card. I was like, yes, bring out the Roy Keane in him. Yes, scumbag. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, no, he wasn't horrible, but I don't think it was one of his best games. I think he should have scored. And I feel like he did keep making a few mistakes at the back, especially in the first half, and losing the ball unnecessarily. So, 6.5.
I guess he's playing with a broken hip, dude. So what can you expect? He doesn't want to rest, dude. He doesn't believe in resting, dude. He'd rather shorten his career instead of actually.
He played every minute in the league this year.
Every minute.
Yeah, I've heard people criticizing him, saying it means nothing because, like, if he was genuinely injured, he wouldn't be able to play. Like, Luke Shaw is genuinely injured; he can't play. So, like, what do they mean? He has a hip injury, and I'm not going to get involved in that. I think it's very respectable that he's playing with a hip problem, personally, but I don't think it's an excuse for his bad performances either. But anyways,
John Terry vibes.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm so sidetracked by that comment.
Fosu
Mensah out of 10.
This is an interesting one. Because again, in the opening 10 minutes, my life.
If Zaha played on his side, I think it would have been much more interesting to judge how good he is. He didn't have like the best people to deal with, Like he had Townsend.
Yeah.
No offense.
That opening 10 minutes, oh my god! I was like, it's gonna happen. A mistake is gonna happen. But I don't know. He felt quiet. Like I don't ever remember him doing anything really.
I think he was solid defensively. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm hyping him up too much, but I think he was.
Today I must Luke Shaw, and I think it shows how important Luke Shaw is to this team because
going forward, he was going forward. He was suspect, but I don't think he did anything wrong defensively.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. But I didn't notice him at all really in the game. So, but he kept the clean sheet, and he did the job after like 3 years. So 7 out of 10.
2 years.
Look, I thought, he was non-existent really. But I think most of the play was going to Wan-Bissaka's side, so he was lucky with that. But I think he was composed, and that's all I'll give to him really, because he didn't do much attack and play defensively. Nothing really happened. But when he had to get the ball, he controlled it well. He passed it well. So 6 out of 10.
I don't know about passed it well because I remember 3 or 4 times where he headed it out for a throw in, and I was like, yo. And Bruno was there patting him on the back, telling him it's going to be okay. But I mean, for a player who hasn't played in like a year and who's coming into a team where we're playing for top 4 in the last 3 games of the season, it was okay. He didn't do anything catastrophic. But I genuinely think defensively he was pretty solid. Like, I think he played better than Delo would have in this game. Yeah, to be completely honest. Like, there was a few times where Townsend came down there and Townsend was just non-existent. And Townsend's not a bad player. It's just he's not consistent. So there was a few times when Townsend came down that right-hand side and Foster Mensah just didn't give him the space or the light of day that he needed. Sure, Townsend could have been a bit more creative, but it is what it is. And it was really only for the first half.
Delo at his best. And I guess in that statement itself is a problem because I say only at his best. But at his best, attacking-wise, he would have been very involved, but there would have been a gaping hole at the back.
Yeah, gaping.
Yeah, we would have probably considered if it was for Delo. But anyways, it's not for Semenza's fault or Delo's fault that both our left-backs got injured in one game. McTominay out of 6. This is going to be an interesting... I mean, out of 10. Out of 6, imagine.
Yeah, no, I think out of 6. Yeah, out of 6. I'm going to let to go first in this one.
I thought he was okay. I just thought he was okay. I thought it took something away from him having to sit. And yes, as Marcus says, he loved it. And maybe he can evolve in that way. But then what McTominay is really good at striving forward. And we saw none of it today. But he wasn't horrible at sitting. But I don't think he was amazing as well. So I'm going to give him a 6.5.
That's fair. I mean, he's playing in a role that he's never played before. Like, I don't know why people are being so harsh on him.
I thought Scott was dead today. I thought he was dead. I thought he was below average. I think Pogba was babysitting him. And yeah, I'm gonna give.
I disagree. I think you're judging him based on what you expect him to be, and not what he was actually playing as. I'd love to see Pogba play in the Matic role.
Yeah.
See that World Cup medal. Pogba would be a calamity. If Pogba was doing what McTominay was doing today, we would have been 1-0 down in the first half. Yeah. You won proof Southampton, but what do I know? Apparently, I was watching a game where McTominay. Apparently, we're watching 2 different games.
I didn't say it was horrible. It was just okay, really. He can improve in that position.
But I don't know. What are you giving him out of 10?
I gave him a 5.
I gave him a 6.
Interesting. I heard your rate. It is what it is. I respect your opinion. Pogba out of 10.
I think Pogba was solid today. I think he didn't show any concern about loss of confidence. Paul Pogba did what Paul Pogba does, and that's put out the above average performance. Linking up play was good again, holding ball was good, passing is good, and I thought especially in the first half, everything in the midfield was happening through Paul Pogba. So I'm gonna give, and when Matic come on, Paul Pogba even just went up 1 gear, and it's scary because that's not even the best Paul Pogba. So I'm gonna give Paul Pogba a 7.
I think the midfield and our strikers suffered the most from Palace's press and didn't have a lot of the ball. But I think if you want to say who had the more, on all of them, who had the ball the most, I think it was Paul Pogba. And he wasn't amazing. And I think it's because he didn't have, Palace played well and there wasn't much options of distribution. So there were a few shaky passes here, but he wasn't bad. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, fair enough. Bruno Fernandes out of 10.
Also, straight 7. I think, he got marked out the game, but when he was on the ball, he did create things, and he does what Bruno does. He should have had a goal as well. I can't believe he missed it. I couldn't believe he actually missed that chance. I thought Bruno's going to get his goal, and happy days. But yeah, and I hope I don't see Bruno against Chelsea, because I think he does deserve a rest. So yeah, but again, Bruno does what he does. He still gets an assist, and for Bruno's bad game is a 7 out of 10. Imagine.
Oh, I've been saying these things about Rashford, but all of a sudden they apply to Bruno, but they don't apply to Rashford. I'm not talking to you specifically, by the way. I'm just saying some United fans in our fan base. I've been saying these things about Rashford, but people say these things about Bruno and don't maintain the same energy with Rashford. I've been saying attacking players, and that includes cams, don't need to shine for the whole game. They just need one moment to make a difference, especially if they're high-risk takers like Bruno. But nobody wants to hear it with Rashford, because if Rashford doesn't score and he doesn't assist, it's a bad game. But because Bruno, everybody wants to lube him up. I mean, I heard he got man of the match on BT Sports, and the guy did nothing for 70 minutes.
Yeah, he got man of the match.
Yeah, so, and I like, guys, I'm not, Rashford's my favorite player, but you'll never hear me saying I'm Rashford FC, because I'm not that kind of person. I don't believe in being one player FC. I'm just saying.
The Premier League love this guy.
I'm just saying. I'm going to digress.
Yeah, no. To be honest, he did assist, but I think he was a bit poor today. I think, yes, he didn't have much of the ball, but when he did have it, I know he does tend to be wasteful tonight, but I feel like he was very wasteful tonight. So I'm going to give him a 6.5, the half for assisting.
Nah, look, I respect your opinion. I respect everybody's opinion as long as it's well thought out and it's got some sort of logic. But I think Bruno did have a good game today because of the one moment. But that's the type of player Bruno is, bro. Like, if you watch the clips of Bruno from Sporting, that's just the kind of player he is, bro. He's a high risk, high reward kind of player, bro. Every time he gets a ball, he's going to try to do something fancy in the park. I don't know if you guys noticed, but did you see how many times Bruno flicked it and tried to hit it? Like across over his shoulder.
I seen it. And it just didn't go on. Even the one to Greenwood is going to be 1-1 if he got like the chest and hit it.
Yeah. If those Crystal Palace players weren't working as hard as they were to try win the 50-50s, you know how many world-class assists Bruno would have had in that game alone. And credit to Crystal Palace because they cut him off. Like, it's not easy as a midfield player who's running back to his mark to expect someone to try kick the ball over his shoulder or across the field, It's just weird and uncanny, and I don't think Bruno Fernandes, like, that's just the way I choose to look at it, ain't it? Because I always give players like Bruno leniency. But
I feel like today it came off less than it usually does.
No, yeah, it came off less than it usually does.
It definitely did. But I still don't think that warrants a 6. But like I said, I respect everyone's opinion. Marcus Rashford out of 10.
Woo! The man with prime Ronaldinho today, That assist to Tony, I don't know how he got away with it. Man's on the throw-in line, 3 people around him, and then I look down for 1 second, look up, and he's gone. I'm like, what? What just happened? I thought he was going up for throwing, but and then the goal also today, very calm, composed. Yeah. There was. I'm gonna give Rashford a 9, and he edges my man of the match. He edges my man of the match.
Same 9. Man of the match.
We're starting to see the sharp Marcus Rashford again.
Cool as a cucumber. I think he's slowly getting back to his best. I think he was taking on defenders, and I think the goal was very good. And he assisted, right? So I think really good game. 9.
Listen to Father Marcus, or Mystic Marcus, whichever way you want to call him. Listen to Father Marcus. Guys, understand, when the midfield is playing well and Luke Shaw is overlapping, Rashford has nothing to do. But when Luke Shaw is not playing well and the midfield is not playing well, you must understand my boy is going to take charge of that left wing. You just wait till Luke Shaw comes back. He's going to be quiet again. When Pogba plays well and Bruno plays well and Luke Shaw comes back, he's going to have another quiet game and people are going to be like, ooh, I don't know what happened to Rashford. And I'm going to be there defending him and saying, guys, when Luke Shaw overlaps, Rashford has to drop short and he doesn't really have much to do because nobody really passes the ball to him. And when they do, he always tries to give it to Martial or he rotates it around the box. And it doesn't look that pretty for a left winger. One of the best left wingers in the world, supposedly. And I'm not saying he wasn't slow. I'm not saying he wasn't sharp coming back. He definitely was slow. He definitely was sharp. And it definitely was a massive improvement today. But it's not a surprise for me as a person who's been preaching why Rashford is quiet. Because when Fosu Mensah is his outlet, he's obviously going to have to take things on himself. And all I'll say is it's the same thing with Greenwood, fam. When Wan-Bissaka's doing his job, you notice how quiet Greenwood is when Wan-Bissaka's doing his job. But when Wan-Bissaka's having a quiet game, then all of a sudden, Greenwood is doing things down that left-hand side because he knows, my boy's having a bad game. Let me try to take charge, even though it doesn't come off sometimes. So I'm just saying, just food for thought. I might be wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And Rashford is just genuinely on form now.
Because if the midfield is struggling and you have a quick player who's taking on players, he becomes a very attractive outlet.
Yeah, and guys, we've spoken about this. Rashford plays at his best when he's allowed to do what he wants to do. Like Rashford's not the kind of player who follows a set of instructions and makes it look pretty. He's not like a Martial who can hold up and still make it look pretty. Like Rashford is at his best when Ollie's like, it's okay, boy. If you want to cut in, cut in. If you want to play a diagonal ball, play a diagonal ball. If you want to shoot from 60 yards out, go ahead. Express yourself, quote unquote. But anyways, that's just my opinion in it. But I understand that everyone views football in a different way, and things aren't that black and white. Maybe he was just unsharp at the big coming back. I'm not denying that. I'm just giving you football, man. Tony Martial out of 10.
I think it's a bit of both.
Tony. I want
to give a bit of both, definitely.
To Tony as well. I wanted to give that. Tony's definitely my runner-up man of the match. He was very, very close of getting it, because my man going forward, everything. He did everything. Tony.
He could probably be a midfielder, you know that.
Yeah, and this man,
midfielder.
with the high press, Palace high press, he destroys everyone's lives. He just goes out, in, and then he creates something out of nothing. It's unbelievable. And he gets his goal. At the end of the day, he gets his goal. A very good goal. And yeah. So I'm going to give Martial also a 9. I thought Martial was excellent.
I feel like not so good, but not so bad in the first half. Second half, he was very good. I think the hold-up was very good. The switching between the front three, but more so between Rashford and Martial, was very good. And really good goal. So, 8.
All I'll say is if we had Harry Kane in this game, we probably wouldn't have won. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just saying, all you guys who want Harry Kane, you don't want to strike
Harry Kane
no ways. If Bruno cannot pass through the middle and he has no other outlet except Pogba, who's a deep midfielder, Kane would not have scored today because he wouldn't have gotten the chances. Like, he wouldn't have gotten any crosses because Barcelona can't cross.
I agree with you, but I feel like
never say never.
I feel like Kane is more than just the classic number 9 who stays. Yes, when he's off form and when he's playing on Mourinho because of how Mourinho plays, it might seem like that. But then a lot of the time when Kane is on it, he's very good on the ball and dropping deep.
Yeah, but he's not agile and he won't win you free kicks by doing quick shimmies past the player. Like what Martial did today. Kane won't beat the high press. What Martial did today, you must understand, what Martial did today required a lot of agility. He got into a lot of tight pockets of space and won Manchester United some key free kicks. He got into tight positions and really tried to get rid of... Yeah, he played the 1-2s. Kane doesn't do that. You know why? Because Kane likes to be in the box, bro. Kane doesn't drop back on the halfway line to try to help his team. He wants to be in the box and he wants to score. And I'm not saying Kane would have never scored today.
Maybe not as agile, but I think he does drop back.
He does drop back, but it's not as effective as Firmino and Martial.
It'll take him another half to get to the opposite.
Yeah, it'll take him another half year to get on the other end of the 1-2. That's what I'm trying to say about Kane.
Kane can miles compete.
So all you men who lube up Kane, I ain't saying Kane 100% would have never scored because that's ridiculous. It's football. Anything can happen. But Martial was more suited for a game like this. That's all I'm saying. All you man who want to lube up Kane, next best thing. I know you can FC, boy.
If it was on the cheap, any day. I won't lie.
Yeah, like we understand.
200 club goals. There's nothing more to say. 200 club goals.
Listen, mate, we understand UK and FC, but it's a democracy, and today Martial's better.
Martial, I'm sorry.
Dude, you can say what you want, boy, but I'd rather have a striker who can hold up. You can keep your goals if they only come when I put it in front of you and you're outside the freaking chicken box or whatever you call that 8-yard box, fam. You can keep your goals, but that's just my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of the United fans agree with me because we love, some of us, I don't know about you, Rita, but some of us actually love our numbers.
Tony's the one.
No. But like more than Kane. Like some of us
Yeah,
actually
like
love
more
him
than
more
Kane.
than Kane.
Like if
No,
you
no,
said
some
Kane
of
or
us.
Tony tomorrow, I'm
Yeah,
picking
like some of
Tony.
us love Tony over
Yeah, I want
Kane,
my club to
over the
win.
Cavani's of this world.
I want my club to win.
Yeah,
Oh,
how?
Tony
I also
did.
want my club to
What
win.
did Tony do?
You know who won the Premier League? You know
Kane
who
is
won the
more
Premier
suited
League?
for that.
Hey,
Kane
listen.
is a step forward.
You know who won the Premier League? A team that had a hold-up merchant. You know who won the Premier League, fam? It wasn't a team with Harry Kane in it, fam. It was a team. It was a team with someone who's very similar to Tony. So you don't tell me about my club winning. You don't
Yeah, but
tell.
we need goals. If this guy didn't have Salah, I'm sorry. I don't see
Yeah,
it
but
being
that's
as
why we need Sancho. That's why we need Sancho. But anyways, that's for another show. Why are we going on this rant? That's for another show. We get it. The Kane FC, we respect it, but we just don't agree with it because some of us love Tony more than Kane. Greenwood, other 10.
Yeah. Greenwood was the evidence of youth
Anonymous.
today. I think for every bad thing he did something decent. And then, it was just like a 50-50 for him today. And I think, against Palace, aggressive team, very high pressing, asked a lot for Greenwood to defend. Obviously Greenwood doesn't want to be defending. He's young. He just wants to be shooting all the time. And he didn't really get his opportunity today. He made, like I said again, for every great pass he made, he did a silly one. He overhit something, or he did it just right, but it led to nothing. So I thought Greenwood was average today. So 6 out of 10.
I agree. Yes, how they played didn't afford him a lot of the ball, but he was very sloppy when he had it. And yeah, not his best game, but he's young. We forgive him. So I'll give him a 6 as well.
All right, makes sense, man. You want to give ratings to anyone on the bench? Because I think when Max
Let's
came
give
on,
Lingard a rating.
levels.
Jeez.
Oh, Lingard. Dude, Lingard, I'm not even bantering. Like, some people are not going to take me seriously. And I understand if you don't
I
take me
was not
seriously.
going to bend to
But-
give him a rating.
Like, some people are not going to take me seriously, and I'm not going to give him a rating. But, like, I think he helped Wan-Bissaka a lot. Lingard was the right substitution to bring on today because he did a job. And, like, I'm not even joking. He ran a lot. He was very energetic. I'm not joking.
Yeah,
He was very
I also
energetic.
think so, to be honest.
And
I thought it
he
was a
dropped back behind Wan-Bissaka. He filled the space. Like, if we didn't have that extra body on the field in those positions, it's an extra pass for Crystal Palace to make. Like, genuinely, I think he did well. I don't think Pereira would have been intelligent enough.
I think it was a good tactical substitution because I feel like the way Palace were playing, we did another body in the midfield and another one who's going to stick to the wing.
Yeah. Well, so are you going to give him a rating?
Give Lingard his record rating of the season, an average 6 for doing a job and letting my son rest. Thank you, Lingard. Appreciate you.
I relax. I thought it was a good tactical substitution. I didn't say he was good. So I thought
You taking the piss, fam. If it wasn't for Lingard, you know how many times Wan-Bissaka would have gotten pocketed there.
Nah,
taking
man,
the
so
piss,
Lingard
man.
was okay. I'm
And
gonna
we
give him
tried
a
hard to get Lingard a goal
and 5
today.
is good for Lingard. 5 is great.
No, five is great, but like Lingard was tops today. Lingard was tops.
I wouldn't say
He was tops today. Lingard was tops today, guys. Like, if we had webcams, like you guys would see, I would have the black gloves and do the Jay Links thing. It would be like right over my face. Like,
Why
he
did
was
Ole call up
tops, dude.
Lingard?
we played Lingard
Because
against Palace.
he's amazing,
Showed
dude.
and we showed Palace like what they're buying. So hopefully, maybe.
No, I think he keeps alternating between Pereira and Lingard because, what else are you going to do if you're going to Solskjaer? Like, who else deserves that bench spot besides Lingard? Like,
I think what Ole was thinking is that he's played against Palace, he scored against them in the final. So maybe there's a good time.
No. Put some respect on Shosko's name. I think the reason why Lingard is on the bench is exactly for what he did. He can do a job. And I'm genuinely not joking. I don't think Pereira would have done the same job if he came on. Because Pereira doesn't have the positional awareness and the experience to actually position himself and make disruptive runs from a team that's trying to score. I think Pereira would have done something stupid and got himself sent off or gotten a yellow card because he tried to pull someone or something, Lingard, what he did today was what I expect from Lingard. When everyone was calling him Jesse Messi, I was like, listen, I think Jesse Lingard is an impact player. If you look at Manchester United, we don't have many impact players right now. When McTominay and Fred come off the bench, they do squats, bro. We've spoken about this. When McTominay and Fred come off the bench, it's a drop-off. When you can say Carlo's reliable off the bench, okay, cool. But when James comes off the bench, it's a drop-off. with Lingard on his day, it's not really a drop off. It's someone coming in to do a job and close out the game. And so I think wherever Lingard goes, you can. I'm not even trolling. Like he could be that guy.
Lingard.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was that type of player. So please don't think I'm bantering Lingard. Lingard can be a very good bench option for a top 6 side. Genuinely, I think so. But he needs to actually get his form up, and he needs to actually get his confidence up, and he needs to actually bring more to the team than just running around really fast.
Need some numbers on the board.
Yeah, he needs some numbers on the board. But like, I would take Lingard over most people who haven't scored this season, because at least I know he's a hard worker, dude. Like, imagine bringing on Ozil to do a job against Crystal Palace, dude. The guy would probably just stroll back to his position, and then Wan-Bissaka gets chowed because he's busy, combing his hair or something, or whatever he's doing in the middle of the park. Yeah, he's busy sulking, dude. Lingard's not like that. Lingard's a hard worker, so in that regard, look, I think he's done at Manchester United, but in that regard, he could have been useful. That's what I've always thought Lingard was. Even when people were over the moon about his performances, I was like, nah, this guy's just an impact player, in my opinion. And he proved me right, because he's been crap the whole season. But anyways, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're going to give him...
Let's give Norwich Lingard and take Todd Cantwell.
I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Dude.
I mean, I would take it, but I would rather just get the money for Lingard and go buy someone else, to be honest. To be completely honest.
You could probably get
like
Cantwell
100
for that money. To be honest.
But I don't want Cantwell, though. That's the thing. There's so many other players I'd rather get over Cantwell. Like, I don't want to play from a relegation team unless they're extremely cheap and there was no other option. If I can sell Lingard for 30 to 40 million and then go buy a decent European CDM, like, why wouldn't I? I don't want Cantwell.
But if Lingard falls for 30, I'll give you my liver.
Yeah.
No, why can't Lingard go for 30 to 40 mil? He can, because...
I'll give you my liver. Do you want to bet?
Yeah, okay, cool.
If Lingard goes for 40 mil, I'll give you my liver.
Because what you guys don't understand about Lingard is he's not like normal players. You know how much brand exposure Lingard brings you as a club? Like, do you not understand that Lingard is one of Manchester United's biggest assets, even with how crap he's playing? Go onto Manchester United, if you want proof, go onto Manchester United's Instagram page and look at their highlights and look who's there. Pogba ain't there, McTominay ain't there, Fred ain't there, Martial ain't there, Rashford ain't there. You know who is there? Lingard. They made a highlight for Lingard. If you don't know what a highlight is on Instagram, it's basically like a story, but it gets pinned to your profile, fam. Manchester United, 36 million followers. And the first thing they see there is Lingard, besides official Manchester United Instagram page.
And I feel like there will be other clubs who prioritize that, but there will be other clubs who don't and prioritize more the football. So
I don't care what you think other clubs will prioritize. If you're an idiot if you think Lingard's gonna leave Manchester United for cheap, because he won't. He offers so much off the field. And a lot of people will think I'm not serious.
I'm saying at most 20 something.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, cool. That's your opinion.
On a good
that's
day.
That's your opinion. But I'm just it's not facts. It's just my opinion as well. But I'm just viewing it how I see it. If Lingard didn't have the massive brand exposure that he did, then yeah, I would say he could go for 15 or even 10 more. Why not? But he does so much for Manchester United off the pitch. He's such a good brand ambassador, kind of similar to Dele Alli. Like, if you ask any kid what Manchester United player they know, they'll probably say Jesse Lingard. And we've done this test before, not in COD. So, like, you don't have to take my word for it, but I think you're letting your opinion of the player over the last year cloud your judgment of what players actually go for in the football market. At least in my opinion.
If he does, I'll apologize and say you're right. But I don't say
you don't have to. I don't think we're going to sell Lingard because nobody can afford his wages and nobody can afford him at the moment. So Lingard's not leaving United anytime soon anyways. So conversation's pointless. He'll probably leave when he's over the age of 30 and he genuinely has nothing to offer on the field. Lingard's not going this summer. If you think Lingard's going this summer, bro, where have you been? Have you been living under a rock? Who's going to buy Lingard in this market? He's not going anytime soon. So everything that I'm saying means nothing because I can't prove it, because he's not going to leave anyways. Like, he won't leave anytime soon. But, anything can happen, right? anything can happen. Apparently, we're signing Thiago. Apparently, we're close to doing a deal with Thiago, so anything can happen, according to some sources. You guys want to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a rating, or
Yeah.
no?
I'll give Oli a 8. 8%.
Yeah, no, I think we played well. One can say, why didn't he, for me, for my tactical analysis, why didn't he slow down the play? But then he stuck to his playing style and it worked at the end of the day. So, yeah, 8.
That's decent, actually. By the way, I actually think West Ham might be in for Phil Jones this summer. By the way, just interesting story that just crossed my head. And I don't know if they're in for Lingard as well, but I think they're
Lingard and Phil Jones package center.
They won't get both of them. They won't get both of them.
Yeah.
If they do get both of them, it has to be some other sketchy deal.
I'm supporting West Ham next season if they get both of them out of United.
They take Jones and Lingard and give us Diop.
Aye, man.
No, man, I don't want soft deals. I don't want soft deals with bottom table teams. I want money, and then I want to use that money to get players who deserve to be at United. I don't want these relegation players to
into the box.
I'll choose that, to be honest.
Over nothing, over nothing.
If I had to get a front deal from West Ham, I'll get Declan Rice.
I guess, but I
mean, it's a lot of money. Silly. There's so many players in Europe that are going to be so cheap in this market. Why are United so obsessed with these English Brexit FC players? Like, yes, would I take Declan Rice for Jesse Lingard? Yes, I would. But there's so many better players out there that I'd rather take, and not in a swap deal. Like, just sell Lingard and use the money to get someone else, dude. Like, I don't get this mentality of buying Brexit FC players and swapping. Like, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I don't think it will anyways. Imagine Diop for Lingard. No ways. Anyways, guys, see you in the next video. Peace out.